Welcome back to my channel. Today we're not working on that, we're actually working on this. It's got no engine. Mint. So we get the engine and the transmission out of this, and that's about it. But it was a 2-night mission. Anyway, enjoy. Caught some of it. Bloody hell. So, new video on this one. Today I'm going to start disassembling the transmission from the engine. I'm going to try and get the engine out. I've drained the water. That was a mare. But also, for this, spark plugs have arrived with a sticker. Sick. So, let's get into it. So, just underneath this car, having the time of my life. And I took off this inspection plate here, and I was like, I really hope I don't have to undo the torque converter up through this hole. So yanked the starter motor, and look at the size of that hole. So I'm gonna undo the torque converter from the flex plate. The starter motor, by the way, is flipping weird. So this is a whole new learning curve for me. I think I've taken the selector off, the gear stick selector. But yeah, these transmission cooling lines, I do need to undo this at some point. But what I'm thinking now is I'm going to drop this transmission before I pull the engine. Reason being, I don't want to jack the car up twice. I can drop this down and I'll lift the engine up and out. So we'll see how we get on. I just got to undo a lot of this stuff and just free it up. Take that big bar out that connects this bar here that connects the gearbox to the diff, and then yeah, we'll look at getting it out. Okay, I've probably been underneath the car for just over an hour, and there's just bolts and bits and pieces everywhere. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to drop this bar here. Now that's the one that ties all the way back to the diff. I'm going to drop that. I'm going to put a jack underneath the gearbox just to hold that, somewhere around there, and get that off. I'm going to undo the drive shaft, and then I'm going to lower the back of the gearbox down so I can get to those 2 bolts at the top of the bell housing up there somewhere, and then yeah, hopefully we can drop the gearbox. I've undone the torque converter, and hopefully that's all good. So things are looking good. So I'll get this transmission out, I think I've already said, and then we'll put the car back on the ground, and maybe tomorrow night I'll position the car and just yank the engine straight out. So getting there. I like how that looks. But anyway, gearbox is out. So I didn't record much of it because, to be honest, I forgot. But there it is, drive shaft, gearbox, and that's that big bar that goes from the gearbox to the diff. Starter motor there. There's a few other bits and pieces down over there, but that's pretty much the bulk of it. So tomorrow I will rip that engine out. It'll be a lot easier now without having that in there. These torque converter things suck, by the way. So pretty much all I have left on the engine is just the mounts, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and oil lines. I just need to drain the oil out and disconnect those, and then this engine can come up. The wiring on that gearbox, where is it? Up over here. It's caught on something. Oh no, there we go. It's a lot different than the manual wiring, obviously, but I don't know how we're going to plug this up to the manual one. I'm sure someone's done it, so there'll be some information somewhere online. But yep, we'll sort that out later on. But tomorrow, engine out of here. So just in case you were wondering, to get to those top bolts, you need something like this long, but longer. This is actually a little bit short, but that's what I needed to get those bolts out. But if anyone is interested in an automatic gearbox, I have one cheap, and I guess that will come with starter motor, gear stick selector, and all the rest of it. But yeah, it is a good box, but the manual's the way. Okay, new day, so we're going to carry on with this. I managed to get the transmission out last night. Tonight we're going to complete it and get the whole engine out. I have still got it jacked up because I want to undo the oil line at the back over there, and then one down here, and I wanted to drain off into an oil pan. But while it's up, I'm also going to undo the bottom parts of the engine brackets, this side and that side, just to make it easier for when we full pluck. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't take us too long. Pretty sure everything or most of the stuff is disconnected. The loom has been disconnected from the ECU. There's an earth that goes down onto the bottom of this side of the engine, that's been disconnected, and there's an earth that goes onto the manifold, also been disconnected. So I think we'll be all right. So I managed to disconnect the oil cooler line. So I got one here and one's just hanging down there. I've undone the transmission cooler lines that are mounted to the front of the engine down here. And I have loosened up the engine bracket bolts here, so I'll make it easier to get them off when the engine's dangling in the engine bay. So just drained the oil now. So I'm just going to duck underneath one more time and have a look, make sure I've got all the wiring off. I'm pretty sure I do, but it is busy down there, but I'm almost certain I've got it all. Then we'll get it on the ground, we'll hook the sling up to it, and we will pull it. Oh, I have to get the bonnet off. But yeah, we'll pull it out. Then what I might do is we'll rip the thermostat housing and all that off, and we'll get that SSV valve out and have a look at that. And then, yeah, and that should be this until I tear that engine down. And I do need to put the new spark plugs in that. So I might do that in this video, and yeah, go from there. Okay, I think she's ready to come out. Just got it hooked up here. Didn't spill much oil this time, just those two little bits there. Just because the oil line was just hanging and transmission lines are hanging out from the bottom of the, where I disconnected them from the gearbox. But we should be all right here. I'm just going to lift the engine up, and then I should be able to push it back into there. I don't have my engine stands with me. They're both on other engines at the moment. So we're probably just going to sit this into a tyre and just drag it around on the ground. But it shouldn't take too long to get it out. Everything is disconnected. I've already started hacking at the engine mounts. So yeah, should be all right. The only thing I'm worried about is that aircon compressor just being a dick and getting in my way. But we'll rip it out now. Well, that wasn't too bad, to be honest. Made it a lot easier this time because when I took the engine brackets off, I took them out with it this time. So just undone the two bolts on the side. Usually I've undone that one there, and trying to feed this out past that mount's a joke. So little tip for the day, if you're going to do it, take the whole mount out. So what I'm going to do now is, this is that air pump pipe that I was talking about. Runs down to there. So we'll just get this off now. Where are we? Down there. This can go in the rubbish. And all I need to do is make a blank plate for this, which I will just actually use that gasket. So I'll just make a blank plate out of that, probably a steel one because it's high heat there. So I'll keep that. Now to get to that SSV valve, I'm umming and ahhing because usually you have to take off all of this thermostat housing and whatnot just to slide the SSV valve out this way, which is a real pain in the ass. Or I just go ahead and I label up all these injectors and just take the whole manifold off, and then I'll just pull it out of the manifold. Yeah, I might do that actually. Bear with me. Okay, so manifold's all off. You can already tell she's going to be pretty filthy in that engine. It's just carbon buildup all in there as well. So I've undone the bolts for the SSV valve. Now it's got to get the thing out. It's a bit hard one-handed, but hang on, bear with me a second. Well, it's out, but it's not as, she's pretty filthy, but not as bad as I thought it would be. But yeah, that's all carbon build-up, so these exhaust ports in here are going to be gunked to death, but that needs a clean out in there as well. Yeah, so I'll go for all this. I'll clean all this up in the parts cleaner, but that's a little bit down the line. What I'm looking at here is, for some reason, I always thought the 6 ports had the blue injectors in them, but these, as you can see, are all yellows, and the ones down in there, the primaries, are actually reds. So I'm not 100% sure where the blue ones come in. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the blue ones are the bigger ones. I always thought they were in the 6 ports, but obviously not in this one. But yeah, she's pretty much good to go. Once I get it on the stand, I'll unbolt all this wiring loom, and we'll get it all down, and we'll put it down to pieces. Where are those? Just under there. I don't know if you can see it. Are those oil lines? Now, if they, once again, I said on that other video, if they break, then it's just that's a freaking nightmare. Also, this flex plate needs to come off. We need to put the bearing in the back of the E-shaft to take the manual flywheel, clutch, and all the rest of it. But besides that, we're looking pretty good. Next video, I'm going to pull that crate out from underneath the house, and we'll go through that and see what's in there. I was watching a video on what you need to do to the pedals and all the rest, and solenoids and bloody control units and all that, and these things. It's a freaking nightmare, but I believe everything is in the crate, so it should be okay. But we'll delve into that probably once this engine's getting built. That's probably my main concern right now, is yeah, stripping this down, ordering the parts we need, porting it with that 6-port template I've got, get it bridge ported, and I've sussed a guy who can tune this. So he'll be able to tune the factory ECU, which is pretty sick. So yeah, keep an eye out for this one. So yeah, this looks definitely a lot better. Yeah, pain in the ass, but stoked with that. Spoke about this. Those all need to clean up. This is going to need a big clean up, and I do need to put those into that car, but probably not going to film that. I have 3 days before it goes for dyno. Today's Tuesday, it goes in on Friday, but on Thursday I'm actually going to go across and catch up with that 323 wagon. We've got a few little bits and pieces we need to do on that, and yes, one of them is the brakes. It seems to be leaking out of the seal around the rotor, so that will be a Thursday mission. Friday off to dyno. Hopefully everything is good there, and then we have a week just to tidy this up, and then next week we're off to reunion, so that'll be good. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you watching. If you learned something, bonus. But yeah, don't take it from me, I'm no professional at this at all. Anyway, cheers. It is so crazy how much wiring the tops of these engines actually have on them. So by me going Marketech, I got rid of all of that. So